Oh, hello, Bear. It's time for another fantastic episode of I Love This, You Should Too. I'm Samantha, and he's Indy, and we are at the Bear Creek Folk Festival. Hi, Indy.
Hi. Hello, Bear.
Hello, Bear.
I hope there's a bunch of bear puns throughout this episode now.
I've set a precedent, and I don't know that I can keep it up.
Well, like Samantha said, we are talking all about the 2026 Bear Creek Folk Fest, which is running August 14th through 16th. And this isn't a preview. We are there. We recorded, so you are listening to this after the fact. Hopefully you were there and got to experience some of it yourself. But if not, we are going to walk you through everything that we did and saw and listened to and tasted a little bit.
Little taste.
Yeah. And felt.
And felt.
And one other sense, smelt.
Did you smell things?
I think I smelled a few things.
I think grass.
We'll probably talk less about the smelling than the rest of them.
Probably. I don't think that was like the star senses of the...
No. And we did record while there, so we'll have some live performances from the musicians. But first off, let's give us a little overview, Sam. What is the Bear Creek Folk Fest all about?
So, Bear Creek Folk Festival is in Grande Prairie in August, and it's at Muskoseepi Park, which means Bear Creek Park. And it is 3 days of Folk Fest, including many things we know and love from other festivals, like main stage and sessions and concerts, as well as beer gardens, backstage, and food vendors.
Those are your favorite parts.
Those are all my favorite parts, yes.
So if you've been following along this summer, this is our third Folk Fest, and hopefully we just want to turn it into a full-time job. So someone pay us to do this, because we don't make any money from it, but we get to listen to a lot of great music. And we have been doing Edmonton and Calgary for a while now, but this was our first year at Bear Creek, and really enjoyed it. But should we just jump right into things?
I think so.
As soon as we get into Grande Prairie, we did get yelled at by a man in wraparound sunglasses driving a large pickup truck. He gave us a finger and sweared at us because that's the Alberta way. But you know what? It's not the Folk Fest way.
It's not the Folk Fest way.
We didn't let that get our spirits down for too long, because when we walked into the festival, it's remarkable when you just walk in, because you are up and you can see the hill going down into main stage. It is a hill like Edmonton's, a much smaller hill because it's a smaller festival, but I'm glad it's not as big as Edmonton's, because that would have been a long walk over and over again.
It would have been a very long walk, and I don't know that I could have done another one the size of Edmonton or Calgary. I was too tired at this point.
So that view, as soon as I saw it, kind of brightened my spirits and got me all excited for all of the music we were going to see. And it started out, the McDades were playing when we got there, so we don't have any recordings of it because we came mid-set, but we'll have some music by them later on. And the first act we got to sit and see properly was Secondhand Dream Car.
So, Secondhand Dream Car is a band that we have seen previously, and they're just, like, when you see them just kind of standing around, you don't really know what to expect. This lead singer has such a big voice for such a small person, and I really enjoyed the bluesy sound of their set, and they had people up dancing, and it was just a kind of a sunny, beautiful start to Folk Fest.
They are local to us in Edmonton, which is where we are based out of, so we've seen them at least once at an Edmonton Folk Fest, probably more than that, and just kind of all over the place. They're around a lot, which is great. They are a local favorite. People really enjoy their music. They did a bunch of original stuff, but I always love a cover of What a Man. They did that. And they did this cover of The Weight, which I've never heard sounding quite like this before. great energy to kind of get us kicked off for a great weekend. Right after that, we got to see the East Pointers. I was lucky because I get to be the photographer of our little duo, so I got to go right up front in their photo pit and take pictures. And they are a band that I'd listened to, but didn't love until I saw them. Like, they're a lot of fun when they're on stage, just the two guys with a fiddle and with a guitar. Isn't a very dancey festival. The crowd doesn't tend to get up and dance very often, but they did have people up and more jumping and stomping than dancing.
Yes, but yeah, they were from Prince Edward Island, and they're like, yeah, they had people moving, toes tapping.
They had this one anniversary song that they were playing that I really liked, but I was taking pictures then, so I didn't record it. But it was about either a birthday or a sobriety anniversary or both, but I really like that song, so I'm going to have to look that one up.
It felt like it could be for any kind of celebration of time. That's a good song then. You wrote a good song if it can be applicable to many things.
And next up on the main stage for Friday night was Jesse Roper.
Easy, babe. You will know will. I will live it firsthand that all things that you love do. I thought it would be easy, babe. Thought it'd always be a nice spell. Although came out, looked around, and said, what the hell? Oh, but we met. I thought it'd be easy. In the dark and now is it gone? In the dark and now is it gone? Oh, but we met. I thought it'd be easy. In the dark and now is it gone? In the dark and now is it gone?
This is something I'm going to say a lot throughout this. I was like, yeah, I liked them when I listened to them before, but when you see them live, that's when. And Jesse Roper is maybe the epitome of that. He is also just like the best festival guest around. He has a very infectious smile. He's always grinning, and he's always at everything. Because I was going in and out of backstage at the main stage to shoot, and he was just always there watching everyone else, hanging out, chatting with everybody. And when you see him on the session stages, I think he wins people over a lot too, that they fellow musicians really like him. I think he was best friends with DK Harrell by the end of this.
I think so. I think I would describe it as like golden retriever energy. He was just like, he was everywhere. He was happy. He was making other people happy. He was just like enjoying the moment. And he seems like someone who's like very in the moment.
On the main stage, he brings like a rock star energy, which you don't get a lot of in a folk fest.
Yeah.
But I bet if he had like 15 people in the audience, he would act the exact same way.
Oh yeah, no, he puts on a show, and it was great. And then seeing him also, because he played like a bunch of sessions, seeing him on the
Session stage is hard to say.
It is really hard to say. Seeing him on the session stages, he's like a little bit less rock star and a little bit more just like a buddy hanging out with his buddies. And it's like, it's cool to see the versatility there. Because you can have a big stage presence, but you also have to be like a kind human.
Yeah, I think he must do. Oh, I know he's done a few festivals because we've actually seen him before. Oh, maybe this year even.
It was this year.
Oh, wow. We've been around so much I can't even remember. But then we've seen him probably 3 times now. So I'm sure he does a lot of festivals and gets how to behave on different stages. Like he commands the stage when it's his, but he's very willing to play along with other people when he's sharing the stage.
Yeah.
And then headlining this Friday night was a real local celebrity, like not just from Edmonton, but from Grande Prairie.
Grande Prairie's own.
Maybe the most famous musician out of Grande Prairie. It was Tennille Townes.
This was one that I was interested to see, just because I couldn't get a good feel of what she was going to be like from what was online. I was really interested to hear. The crowd went crazy because, of course, hometown crowd. And it's always fun to see an artist like feel like they're home, right? Like get to be home and get to do what they love in front of the people that like love you back. And so, yeah, that was cool.
It was great being part of that crowd that really loved seeing her back home. And when I was taking pictures, I was thinking, is she very, very small? And then we saw her with other people, and yes, she is very,
She's
very
just
small.
a tiny human.
And then let's jump forward now. We're going into Saturday morning. It's kind of afternoon by the time we got there. It was around noon. And we got to start off with some session stages. And if you haven't been following us or Folkfest in general, what's a session stage, Samantha?
A session stage is when the festival puts together different artists and they play, either each take turns playing their own song, or sometimes you'll get a stage that just jams out for 25 minutes to one song. People take verses. People are just like making stuff up on the fly. It's a very cool thing because you get to see something that like will never happen again and isn't really recorded or saved at all. So
until now.
But it is like a kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity to see these artists together. And so sometimes they're together because they're like singer-songwriters. Sometimes they're together because they all have an M at the beginning of their band name. And sometimes they're all together because they're like super happy, dancey gospel bands.
Or sometimes the schedule's just worked out that way and someone really doesn't belong, but that, I'd argue, is the most fun.
Exactly, and we will talk about that. So we started off the day with the Milk Carton Kids, Katie Pruitt, Kelly Loader, and Julian Taylor, who we have now seen for a third time.
First, we should start off maybe with the Milk Carton Kids, because those are probably your darlings of the festival, of the last two festivals.
Last two festivals, yes.
So we've gotten to see them a bunch. At this particular session, we were kind of seated in what seemed like the kids section. So there was a lot of noisy kids.
Oh my goodness.
We could hear music from the other stage, so I'm not sure if my audio is as good on these ones. But let's start off with those Milk Carton Kids that we love so much, that you love and that I've grown to love over the last 2 weeks.
So they've clearly been doing the festival circuit because they've been playing kind of the same songs on the session stages, but I'm not mad about it. We got to hear Snake Eyes, we got to hear Lost Cause Lover Fool.
And let's put in the third time, I think in the last 2 weeks, that we've heard Lost Cause Lover Fool from their new album of the same title.
It's hard. Lord.
I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I haven't on this episode yet. So they are so much fun just hearing them chit-chat. Right before it, I think Joey asked Kenneth, "Are you going to tune your guitar?" And he goes, "What, again?" I don't know why just that was so funny to
They're
me.
just so funny. They just like nag each other. They're like an old married couple. They're just like nagging at each other, and they know like what's gonna get to the other person like really quickly. And I could just sit and listen to like a 90-minute session of them just like chatting and strumming their guitars, because usually when they're bantering, they're also just kind of like playing softly at the same time. And honestly, I'd pay money for an album of that.
Katie Pruitt was there as well, and she played this song, Blackout.
I know where I'd go. I would drive to your house in blackout, risk my life to hold your hand. I would be by your side in a second if I thought the world would end. And I know that there's no going back now. Can't turn a lover back into a friend. But I'd drive to your house in a blackout just to see you again.
She was also talking about the last time she was at the festival, where she was performing the day after a big breakup, which just seems like a terrible thing to have to do.
Go to Canada and like play all your songs probably about your previous relationship. She was saying, I was really raw at that festival. And so she, I think, was happy to be back to experience the festival when she wasn't feeling like that. I enjoyed her. She's got a great voice.
We don't have any audio of Kelly Loader because of, well, mostly those kids running around, but what a voice there. Like everyone is a professional musician here, but Kelly Loader has a voice.
Yeah.
And she had some real fun stories, some not as fun, some pretty funny about growing up in the church gay. And when she was playing, Kenneth from Milk Carton Kids started off by accompanying her, and then that got other people to sing in more. So this was one of those that's more of a take our turns kind of session, which is fun too, but there's all sorts of different types which we'll talk about. And then rounding out this session was Julian Taylor, who I don't know how many times we've seen this summer, but always a treat. What we always say, the best dressed man on the hill, Julian Taylor.
And I had a chance backstage to talk to him because we were just kind of like standing by the bar waiting to get drinks. And he was just so nice. He's like, "Oh, hello." And he like put his hand out to shake my hand. And I said, "Oh, hi, I'm Samantha." He's like, "Oh, I'm Julian." And like,
You're like, "Yeah, I know."
I'm like, "Oh, I know who you are, sir." And I did tell him that we'd seen him 3 times and that he was just like the most well-dressed person every time we saw him. And he was like, "Oh, thank you very much." He's like very soft-spoken and like just like it seemed very humble and like appreciative to hear that like other people enjoy his music.
I was hanging out with the other photographers about to go out in front of the stage to shoot. I can't remember who it was, but Julian Taylor also was hanging out the entire festival and watching a lot of music. He came to the side stage and he saw me and he gave me a fist bump. He said, "Good to see you again." And all the photographers like, "You know him?" I was like, "I guess."
Yeah. We
are lucky. Bear Creek lets us media go into the same areas as the artists, and we do our best to not be like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
And we just go, "Hey, good to see you again."
Yeah. And he like turned to me and said like, "Hi, I'm Julian."
I let them talk to me.
Yeah.
First, so.
And I unless I'm like actually really wanting to talk to somebody or I have like a comment like, "Oh, that set was so great. I'm so glad you played this song."
So Julian Taylor, an Auntie Audrey favorite,
yes,
was when he has the stage to himself, he does tend to play like heavier stuff, and he has the backing band with him. And his music was versatile, so he kind of does what he needs to. So in this session, he kind of matched the vibe that everyone else had, which was slow and kind of somber stuff. So he played this song for his sister.
Watching you go through so much pain isn't easy. That's why awake always leaves a trace. The
was up there with just his guitar, and then the others kind of helped out and filled out the sound a little bit more. He also had a song about Maple Ridge, which I've never heard a song about Maple Ridge before, so that was the first one.
Yeah, he's like, I'm from Maple Ridge, and
Is he from there? I thought, okay.
I think he said he spent
sense.
a lot of summers there.
Sure. That makes sense, because you wouldn't just sing a song about Maple Ridge.
No,
if
I
you-
think he has like a family member who lives there, and he spent all of his summers there. So
Cool.
formative years in
That's
Maple
right,
Ridge.
that's
Yeah.
right. And then they also have a mid-afternoon main stage, and on the Saturday, that was the Trews. So the Trews are a big, very well-known, more like stadium rock band.
Yeah.
But they also do acoustic sets at festivals like this, so that's what we got to see.
This was one that I was like, I'm sure I know the Trews songs. Like, I'm sure I'll hear it and I'll be like, oh yeah, that one. So I didn't listen to a bunch before the festival, but yeah, I think I know about like 4 Trews songs just from being in the world.
Yeah. I think you might have been having some shade and craft time.
I think I was, because it was hot.
Yes. Yeah, when you're out just in direct sun, even if it's only like 25, it's not crazy hot, but that sun gets to you.
And there was no clouds, so it was a weekend where I was like, okay, I can do one sunny session, and then I need to be in the shade and like lower my body temperature again, because it didn't feel very safe to be out a bunch. So I was listening but not watching.
So they played a lot of those songs that Samantha and probably most people in Canada know, including Poor Old Broken Hearted Me.
Then poor broken hearted me. Her mission is my misery. Poor broken hearted me. Sing it again. There's no sign she'd rather see. Then poor broken hearted me. So happy when I'm on my knees. Poor broken hearted me.
They were another crowd pleaser. There's a lot of people there that were there to see the Trews. There's a lot of people singing along that knew the words. So everyone seemed pretty happy in the afternoon listening to that. And then we kind of break again and do some more session stages and side stages before main stage in the evening. What was the next session we saw?
The next session we saw was the Warren Treaty, Alex Cuba, Secondhand Dream Car, and DK Harrell, who we love.
Yeah, well, you could say that about a bunch of these people.
Actually,
though, but
most of them we love.
We'll talk about DK. Let's start with Alex Cuba, because he's someone that you have been a fan of for quite some time.
Yeah, he's a big folk fest staple. He's been to many Edmonton folk fests. He's been doing the folk fest circuit for years, and he's just got such a good vibe for like an afternoon concert that I love hearing him play. And he's a very skilled guitarist. Like, he does kind of I don't know if I'd call it like a Spanish guitar, but it's like a very complex guitar.
A Cuban guitar,
A
perhaps.
Cuban guitar, yes. And did they say he lives in like Regina?
I don't think so.
Winnipeg? I don't know. It's like a Canadian town that you wouldn't think a musician would immediately move to.
Wasn't it Smithers, BC?
It might be. It was a town where I was like, huh, I wonder why he lives there. But no, I really thoroughly enjoyed the music that he played during this session.
He's usually playing just himself and a guitar, but in this session you can hear him here with an extra guitar and some percussion coming in as well.
Sin intentar entenderlo, lo encuentro perfecto. Nuestras diferencias del mundo a reflejo. Ya se ha puesto un viejo. Creer que la vida es mejor cuando todo es igual. Dividido. Está el mundo dividido. Si vas a bailar conmigo, escoge cualquier camino. Está el mundo
Another artist that we have seen a few times and loved are the Warren Treaty. They're a husband and wife team, and they just are so incredible at the big gospel-y songs. And they played quite a few covers of like really traditional churchy songs and just made it sound amazing, especially with the other people who were on the stage, because everyone kind of got in and started singing, and it was really great.
They did so many different things, but let's just throw in a tiny clip here of them doing I Will Always Love You, the Dolly Parton or Whitney Houston, however you want to look at it, song.
Yeah.
I'll think of you every step of the And I will always love you. I will always love you. I will always love you.
And this one had a lot more of people jumping in on each other's songs. So earlier in the day, we had seen Secondhand Dream Car perform What a Man. And here it is again, but with a bunch of accompaniment from
Everybody.
the other musicians on the stage. Now maybe we can talk about DK Harrell
Yes.
a bit. He is a very talented blues musician who we also got to see last week in Edmonton, and we got to go to a very like a much smaller event because they played a party. And we were saying that like I'm interested to see him because I wanted to see that guitar playing, because I appreciate good blues guitar. And then when you see him live, you're like, oh, he's a showman. He does
Yeah.
a lot. He's up there. He's shaking his butt in a very, very literal way.
He's dancing. He's like really
He's
into his show.
proselytizing. He's doing everything.
Yeah.
At one point, he was performing Let the Good Times Roll, and he did this kind of back and forth call and response with his guitar. Like he would play a riff, and then someone else would echo it back, and then he tossed it to like the saxophone player, and then and they were all just kind of jamming on that one riff a lot, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, those are the moments of the festival where you're like, wow, this may never happen again. This is amazing. And that was such a feel-good session. I think everybody had big grins on their faces because everyone looked like they were having so much fun on stage, getting to just like play around with their instruments.
Maybe because it's a smaller festival, but I felt like the sessions, people were like really having a good time. Like maybe they had more time to hang out. They weren't just all showing up and like, okay, let's figure something out.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think maybe that was the case a lot of the time, that they just figured something out real quick. But for whatever reason, they were doing a great job of all of that.
Yeah, it's just very playful. And yeah, it felt like everybody was a little bit more familiar with each other.
And like I said, the Grande Prairie crowd isn't one to get up and dance very much, but they do get up and do mid-set standing ovations for songs they like, and this got a couple of those.
And if they're asked to get up, they will get up and dance, which...
They'll get up and shuffle.
They'll sway. They'll do a little sway, do some clapping. But I do think that sometimes it's hard to get people kind of out of their chairs and like up. So
And chairs.
Chairs.
I've never seen so many lawn chairs as I have.
I have not either. It was just a sea of Tommy Bahama chairs.
Yeah, so few people just sit on the ground on a tarp like they do in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Of course, there's chairs there too, but this is, I think, like 90% chairs.
The second we got on the hill, we were like, holy crap, the chairs. Like, you can just see them. It's more noticeable than tarps.
And more than one artist commented on like, oh, you guys must be just keeping the Tommy Bahama business afloat with all of these chairs here.
It was just nonstop Tommy Bahama chairs. And everyone looked very comfy, but were willing to get out of their seat when asked.
And I think you might have taken a break, and I went to go see a couple of other things after that. And I went to see maybe my favorite of the festival, Gwenifer Raymond, who is someone who plays just acoustic guitar. She doesn't sing. There's no accompaniment from anything else. And she does that, sometimes it's called American primitive, that thumb picking style, which is very interesting for me to watch. So when she performs, it's the most like intensely I watch a person. And it feels kind of weird if you're just like staring at someone, but you just watch her hands, and it's remarkable because she can not have her left hand on the frets at all and get so many different sounds out of an open guitar with her thumb. I don't know how that's possible. Well, I guess just how it's tuned or something, but she can play riffs with just her one thumb is the only thing that's touching any strings, which I don't understand how that works, but it was real cool. She used a slide, which I'd never seen her use before. So far, every time I play some of her music, it's my favorite song of hers, Jack Parsons Blues, which I assume is about that Thelamite. So here it is again. Seen her. She doesn't like to talk. It's so far the other way that I find it very charming that she refuses to say anything.
She's just like, nope, I'm just doing my craft.
She just says hi.
Yeah.
And then later, hi again. And that's it. And I appreciate that. I think it was a lot of fun. I got to talk to her a bit, but we'll talk more about her later because I think her real moment to shine wasn't just on her solo concert.
It was a Sunday session.
Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow. And by tomorrow, I mean in like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes or something. After that, on the same stage, Mason Vaya was playing. And he is a guy that I heard that one song a while ago called See It While You Can.
And short-sighted men in all of their greed, they take more than they need. They'll auction off the highway just to make a dollar. Every single acre of our lovely Mother Nature, they'll clear cut the forest, buy and say that it's good for us. They'll mine and they'll drill, and they'll never get their fill, and leave nothing for our kids. Sell it off to the highest bids. That's this great complexity, and they'll be marred eternally by the rich and the few who want to steal it from me. You was right on. If we ain't careful now, soon it will all be gone. And if we can't come together now and take a stand, then folks, you better see it while you can. Well, from the peaks of Denali to the Gulf of Mexico, from Canada, Maine to Arizona's Saguaro, there's a beauty in this world that some don't understand. So folks, you better
it's a song about the national park system and how people are exploiting nature in so many different ways, and we're going to leave nothing for our children. And I put in that kind of angry part that he has in it, and then it continues on, and he put in a little bit of "This Land Is Our Land," but he used the Canadian version, which I think was fun for his Canadian audience. And he, I think, surprised a lot of people because he's a great musician, and I think he comes from a family of it, and he's from like Old Crow Medicine Show, so he's like been around. He's been doing stuff for a long time. I think he was on American Idol at one point.
Oh, wow.
But he is now a solo artist doing this bluegrass country music. And when he started up, he said, "I'm Mason Vai, I'm going to play this country and bluegrass music." And everyone in Grande Prairie is like, "Yay!" And he's like, "Also, the rampant deportation of immigrants is wrong and climate change is real." And everyone's like, "I don't know as much now." And
Were
then,
you clapping real loud?
Yeah. He didn't exactly say that, but like his songs
That was what
say
it meant,
that.
yeah. I got to see kind of his like last song when I came back to meet up with you. And yeah, he was like so charming to watch. Like you can tell that he spent a lot of time on stage because he's like a big mover.
He is big. He's much taller than I realized because I've been shooting with prime lenses and I couldn't fit him in with the lens I have. And I was like, wait a minute. So I had to kind of change things around because before that I was shooting Gwenifer Raymond, who is small and also sitting.
Yes.
And
then she leans over her guitar too, so she's
she makes
compact.
herself very small. She's smaller than the chair she sits on that way. And then Miss Mason Vaya comes out and he's a tall guy. And before playing that "See It While You Can" song, he was talking about how upset he is about things going on. And he said, "Oh, I just did what Woody Guthrie would do, and I wrote a song about it." And I appreciated that. Oh, and I also got a little clip when he did a fun call and response about cocaine.
Cocaine.
Hey, stay away from that stuff. It ain't no good for nobody. Here we go, y'all. Let's have a little blues here. I got a ringing in my head, existential dread. My hangover the size of the moon. You haven't called me a coward, mind. You're playing with that pat. I stick to drinking at the local saloon. That cocaine. Now stay away from me. Y'all sound good. Well said. That cocaine. Why don't you let me?
So that Mason Vaya concert turned out to be one of my favorite ones of the festival. I had a lot of fun there. And then we got to see the Alex Cuba concert.
Which I was very excited about. And he did great. Good job, Alex. I don't know why I'm talking about him like a school child.
So let's play that same song we used in our preview episode when we were talking about our favorite artists.
Yo quiero que la suerte se acuerde de mí, que el cielo me sustente la razón, que cuando estés presente me alcance el valor y un algo que yo diga se va a unir a los dos. Si tú me miras se me olvida darle vida a mis palabras, la voz. Yo no comprendo esta situación. ¿Qué pasaría si algún día me dijeras que tú quieres mi amor? Yo no entiendo la respiración. Oh.
And then that was so good that he also did the English version.
You know, in my efforts to make, people in Canada sing this song with me, I came up with an English version that I'm gonna show you, and if you get inspired, please, sing it with me, okay? Just the chorus. It sounds like this. La 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 la. La 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 la.
That was a good bit. I laughed when he did that.
He knows his audience.
And then he's someone else who I met backstage at the little smoke area. He had a big cigar, and I was hanging out there, and he came over, and I said, I should probably say this now before it becomes awkward. I am wearing a picture of you right now because I had my button on, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool. Where'd you get that?" And so he has it now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I love how excited the artists got this year that we got to give buttons to.
He's very much could just be a volunteer, a cook, an artist, whatever. He doesn't bring anything up. He was just like chatting about just whatever.
Yeah.
He was a good guy. Well, now I think it is time for the main stage Saturday night.
And we got to see our pal DK Harrell on the main stage, and he really just did a show.
This is another perfect example of someone who you listen to and you're like, yeah, this is really good. And then you see it live and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
It's got the dancing. It's got the like little speeches in between the songs.
Yeah.
It's got his delightful accent. And he is just like loving life up there.
Yeah, he's like 50% blues musician and then 25% rock star and 25% preacher.
Yeah.
He has it all put in.
Honestly, that's a good balance.
It is.
It was a really good balance.
And I almost missed him playing Vibe With Me, which is my favorite song of his, because I was vibing with him in the backstage without even realizing it. And Sam said, oh, he had to go get the audio.
I came running because I was like, it's your song.
Yeah.
Because you wanted him to play it in Edmonton and he didn't. And then he didn't play it during the session that we saw him in earlier. So I was like, this might be the only time.
It was. So I at least have the end of the song here.
Love Canada, say our love is so real. So let you and I have a good time. And let green and love take the wheel. What you say?
So we didn't get too much of the song, but you get to hear the musicianship of the band and the whole band real tight. And we should also talk about our new best pal, Taylor, who plays bass, or is hopefully will be the bass player for DK Harrell Band. He played his first show with them this weekend. Even as recent as a week ago when we saw, I think they go by fully the DK Harrell Blues Band.
Yes.
They were performing last week in Edmonton and they had a different bass player. And I think they're going through a few on this tour. And Taylor, who we were talking to for quite a while before we even realized who he was, is filling in and hopefully is making it a full-time thing.
Yeah. He was a very nice guy, and it was cool to hear
From Baton Rouge.
And it was cool to hear from him and just kind of get to know what it's like to be kind of a session musician who's like trying to find a permanent job.
Yeah, that just seems wild to show up and like just learn all of the songs and like, oh yeah, now we're doing a concert for thousands of people.
Yeah, now you're on the main stage of a festival playing these songs that you like have maybe played with me once, if that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I have a lot of respect for the musicians during like folk festival, especially because you really get to see how good they are with their instruments and how they can like just tune into whatever someone else is doing and like get right in on it, and it sounds amazing. And then also people like Taylor, who learned all of the material on his own from recordings and then flew to Grande Prairie and just played a whole weekend of shows.
And then we got to see your favorites.
The Milk Carton Kids. This was honestly like one of the best places for me to see them because I got to be like pretty much alone backstage watching from the side. I got like an unobstructed view. I got to like really enjoy all the songs. I had a little bit of room to move and sway, and it was just such a lovely time. And they played so many songs. They played a mostly different set from what we saw in Edmonton.
Yeah, it had very little overlap.
Yeah.
Which was fun. I liked that.
It was very cool. And they played mostly just their new stuff. That was like the repeats, but we got to hear Lost Cause Loverful for a fourth time.
But they didn't do the bit about the title, which now I've come to expect.
Now I'm like, that's the first verse of the song.
It's
talking about the commas. But yeah, and they played a lot of deep cuts that they didn't play in Edmonton that I was like a little bit sad that they didn't play in Edmonton. So I was like so excited to hear some of these. And yeah, it was just such a lovely like little piece of the weekend, even though they're not as high energy as DK Harrell or the band that was coming up next. It was just like a really nice moment. And I feel like a lot of people kind of got in on it.
And one of the unique songs they played this time round was a cover of Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here. And when I was photographing them, I thought like, oh, their skin tone has changed drastically.
In a week.
They were right in direct sun, and it's hard. They're wearing suits. They are not moving out of that sun. They were just sitting there in it, and I think they were a little bit late, and I saw them running back and forth backstage.
From their trailer,
It's
yeah.
because they were sunscreening their faces because they were like, it's 8 p.m. We didn't think we'd be in blazing sun like this.
Welcome to Canada.
Yeah, we were that far north. It's pretty sunny.
Yeah, it was pretty sunny. And I think I said it in our last episode too. They were in the sun in Edmonton. And I'm like, I feel so bad for these artists who have to play all of their music and like cannot see probably past their guitars because it is so bright right in their eyes. And most people aren't wearing sunglasses during their show. So I don't know how they do it. And then we got to see what seemed like something that like a lot of people were excited for, Locarno.
I was real excited to see Locarno. They're fun because they just have such an array of instruments. It's nice to see like the contrast going from Milk Carton Kids, 2 people, 2 guitars, to this one with like fiddle and horns and different types of percussion too.
Yeah, that was a full stage.
Multiple guitars.
Yes. Oh, you can't forget Milk Carton Kids banjo.
Oh, true. They did bring out the banjo for
2
the one song.
guitars
You know, for the kids.
and a banjo for the kids.
But never, not at the same time.
no,
one
no.
guitar, one banjo.
Yeah, Locarno had people up dancing. They were really, it was, you know what? I'm going to use my catchphrase. It was a total party.
It was. So I was real excited to see them because that's probably the band whose albums I've listened to most out of the ones we saw at Bear Creek. And it was as good as expected. Tom Landa is a guy who's made a lot of different music, and I'm really liking this Locarno album. And just like Samantha was saying, they got a lot of people dancing. But the single thing I can tell you how good it was is I saw someone... There's a marimba player, and they had a marimba solo, and the marimba solo was so good that someone stood up from their walker and danced. So that's how you know it's a
You
good
know
time.
what? It brought the use of their legs back. The
Yeah.
marimba solo was so amazing.
And you know who that someone was?
Nikki D.
Nikki D! And then we finished off the evening with some real Canadiana, and closing it down that night was Tom Cochrane.
I know you're out there. You're in hiding. Did you hold your meeting? I can hear you come. Let you kill the laughter. Wise to you this time. Wise
before coming here, I was telling you, you know Tom Cochrane, even if you don't know Tom Cochrane. And I thought, like, oh, I probably know like 3-4 songs. Turns out I know like 6, 7, 8 songs, and you probably knew a
3
few.
or 4 songs,
Yeah.
probably. And this was another Trews situation where I was like, I don't know that I know the Trews. And you're like, you know the Trews. And it was the same with Tom Cochrane. You know
Yeah.
Tom Cochrane. Like, you'll know Life is a Highway. And I was like, oh, from Cars. And you were like, Samantha.
I thought you just meant from like cars, like
From, like,
automobiles.
being in a car listening to the radio.
Oh, I thought you meant like, oh, highways, like cars use? I'm like, yeah, I guess. That's a weird way to look at it, though. I didn't know it was in the
that
movie Cars.
Sounds
and
really
that's where
dumb.
you know it from.
Yeah, it's like the song from Cars.
Yeah, I know it from Canada.
But yeah, no, I knew quite a few, not quite a few. I knew like 4 songs. And the dance pit for Locarno was like most of the like not white people.
Sure.
There-
And probably younger people.
And probably younger people. And then within the 20 minutes to change over from Locarno to Tom Cochrane, wow, did that dance pit change. It was all ladies, like probably over 60. And it was like a completely different vibe in that dance pit.
And I know that Tom Cochrane's a big deal. Like, I know the name, but then when you see the reactions of everyone, you're like, oh, I didn't know how big of a deal
there was,
he
like,
was.
Fans screaming.
People were going nuts for Tom Cochrane.
Insane. Like, it was crazy. And I like didn't know what to expect because like I know he's popular, but
I didn't know what to expect because I was like, yeah, he's popular, but that was a while ago. And like, what's it like now? And I gotta say, he puts on a good show. I'll be very honest, I wasn't expecting very much. And sure, he's an older guy. He's not moving probably like he did 30 years ago, but he put on a good show and they sound good.
they do sound
They
good.
still sound good. Like, you can see a lot of acts who were popular 30 years ago, and it's not what it was.
It's a little tired.
Yeah.
This was
They sound
Oh, man.
tight. Their vocals are on. Like, they sounded great.
These are professionals.
Yeah.
These are professionals who like know what their job is, and they did it. They really had everyone going. It was amazing.
The good old boys from Red Rider.
Red Rider?
That's the band's name. Oh. I think. Oh, I might be wrong. Someone out there can correct me.
Someone will figure it out.
And that's how we finished our Saturday night. So that brings us to the Sunday Soul session. What do we often call it? Sunday service?
Yeah, it was like Sunday church is usually like there's always a session that sounds like that. So I think Sunday Soul session is a good one.
So that featured Nikki D and the Sisters of Thunder, Jesse Roper, and the War and Treaty.
This was honestly one of the best sessions
It was fantastic.
of the weekend. I really we were spoiled by that, and they sang the good old church hits. They were like playing around. They were making up new verses to old songs. They were mixing in covers of things. It was incredible.
This was one that was the opposite of the take your turns type. There was a lot of give and take, but they were all together. Like, different people would take the lead, but then they would hand verses of songs over often because it was a lot of traditional songs, so people all knew it.
Yeah. And church songs tend to have many, many verses.
And here is a little bit of them performing Change Is Gonna Come. And Nikki D's on the lead, and she has that kind of lap slide guitar. I don't know which of the Sisters of Thunder is singing, but the one from Detroit.
Okay.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Ooh, like the river. I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, and I know.
treaty folks also led a few good spirituals. I liked at one point, Nikki D was playing her slide guitar, and she had this back and forth with the guitar player from the Warren Treaty, who we saw in the hotel at the very beginning when we were picking up our stuff. And then they finished it off with a big group sing-along of Oh Happy Day. Which
just felt like such a perfect Sunday afternoon activity to be doing, is singing Oh Happy Day in a park on a beautiful summer day.
Happy day, oh, happy day. It was a happy day when Jesus was. Oh, when he was. When Jesus was. Yeah. He wiped my sins away. Come on.
I don't have any history with these types of songs, but you get what it means to them when you watch it.
Yeah. And you can kind of, like, I tried religion as a child. It wasn't for me. I decided not to roll with it. But you kind of get the, like, community aspect of religion when you see people singing and, like, how universal some of these songs are.
I gotta say, this has got to be the best part of church, is, like, this music that comes out, and also architecture. There's some good churches up there.
I did realize that I was really only going to church because I enjoyed singing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm here for the music. Interesting. Okay.
So then Folk Fest is kind of the best way for you. You get the songs and you don't have to sit through the quiet parts.
Sit through the quiet parts where I have to sit still and not move around. This is really the best part. And this, you know what, Folk Fest, it's a little bit like church for me.
Yeah, it really is. As great as that session was, and it really was a highlight, the next one may have even surpassed it.
So we got to see DK Harrell, Gwenifer Raymond, Nikki D, and the Series of Thunder, and Jesse Roper play a session. Pick the odd man out.
Yeah. So you've heard all of them already on this episode if you weren't familiar. Outside of Gwenifer Raymond, they all had really charming, charismatic, talkative people. And there's a lot of soul influence. There's a lot of gospel. They were singing a lot of songs about Jesus. And Gwenifer Raymond has songs about, like, well, the one I already played was Jack Parsons, a Theolomite. And she has songs about the devil and hell and stuff. And doesn't talk at all. So I was curious and a little afraid for her of how this would go, because it just seems uncomfortable. She seems uncomfortable at the best of times when she's doing her own thing. Yeah. She seems like she doesn't want to be there. And I don't mean that to diminish. I think it's great. I love her energy. And like I said, she was like maybe my favorite person in the festival. So I really enjoy watching her, and how much she doesn't seem to enjoy interacting with others at all. And then you put her on this stage with all of these people, and they're all very big, very happy, very much the opposite of
and
what she's doing.
Huge voices.
Yeah, and she has no voice.
No voice.
She doesn't
no
talk
voice at all.
or sing.
Yeah, we were both talking about this before we got to this session, and we were like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. She might just like strum in the background and do nothing.
And for the first half, that's mostly what it was. They were like having a wild jam session with all of these solos outside of Gwenifer Raymond, and it was like just a real joyful time. There was a lot more church songs, and then they said like, okay, well, she hasn't been getting in on these ones as much because it just doesn't fit, so she's going to do her song now. And she actually spoke, and she said, "Are you all having a good time? That's over now." And then started her song.
She told a joke.
And it was so good because everyone stopped and nobody really played with her. People would try a little bit, like Jesse Roper kind of like tried to strum in tune and give some like background. Nikki D tried a couple times. She played like a few notes on the slide and then like quickly gave up. Same with percussion. Like nobody could match what she was doing. 'Cause
She's
there's
so
like
fast.
there's so much speed and intensity to what she's doing, and also just the tone is not something that they do. But what was really interesting was people watching her. Like DK Harrell came around and just like watched her hands and was just clearly in awe of what she was doing, because they're both very talented guitar players in very different ways.
Yes.
And I don't have as much experience seeing people like her, because when I see her, I was like, I've never seen that before. DK is incredibly talented, but I've seen some really talented blues musicians before. I haven't seen someone do the thumb thing that she does, and he hadn't either, and was saying like, oh, I wish I had your hands. And she was like, I wish I had your hands, because she has real small hands, and it must be hard to
move your fingers that fast.
play.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's doing.
It was really cool to get to see musicians who are like incredible. Like everyone on the stage was incredible, but to get to see them kind of be in awe of something that like nobody else can kind of do.
Yeah. And DK Harrell was saying that he liked this one Jesse Roper song called I Fucking Love You, Man, which I also think is a very funny song.
It's a great song.
And he told the story about how it's for his brother, how he had a hard time saying like, I love you to my brother, but I should be able to see that. But I say like, I fucking love you, man, because then it makes it like masculine somehow.
Yeah, it's less like mushy.
Yeah.
I have to say friggin' before I love you, because it'd be weird, kind of awkward maybe, but just so you know, bro, I frickin' love you, man. You piss me off when shit you do. Sometimes you're an asshole, but you know what? I probably am too, just so you know. Bro, I frickin' love you, man. I'm going to the gym. I frickin' love you. I love you, man. If you ever bring some shit, I'll never have no name. That's me. Thank you forever. Now to the gym. Bro.
And if you listen, you can hear Jesse calling out the key changes.
Yeah, which I love.
And then Gwenifer did rock out on like one gospel song. She did get up and like start playing her guitar on her knee for some of the gospel-y stuff. But it was fun when they were talking about Jesus. They were just like being very religious. And she like kind of just subtly like put up the devil horns. Like she didn't lift it up all the way, but she was showing like, yeah, we're all together, but I'm not on that team.
Not on that team. DK had a very beautiful speech of he had a testimony, I think it's called, in the church, and he talked about how he was homeless 4 years ago and how he like came to music and how he really only has his guitar crystal, and like it was just amazing to get to like hear a little bit about these musicians that we've been listening to for months.
And he also talked about the importance of festivals like this. Let's put that in here.
But all I'm saying is this. These folk festivals are not just entertainment. A lot of times it's an opportunity for all of these artists to be able to express how they feel. Because again, they have no one to talk to. If they take it to social media, they get bashed. If they take it to the news, they get bashed. And sometimes just being able to play our music to all of you people who are willing to accept how we feel and our talent, that is a blessing. So when we say thank you, we mean that. Ms. Gwenifer Raymond thanks you. Jesse Roper thanks you. Nikki D and the Sisters of Thunder thank you. And the DK Arrow Blues Band thanks you. Because we wouldn't be here without the people.
But my highlight was the second time Gwenifer Raymond played a song. She played the song called Hell for Certain, and she dedicated it to Donald Trump, and she played it, and people again couldn't jump in. But then when she was done, Nikki D took like the basis of that song and kind of was mimicking it on her slide guitar. And from her starting that, then giving it back over to Gwenifer Raymond, then she started playing her regular version again, but it gave it like an entry point for everyone else to come in, and everyone else came in. So if you're listening to, I was going to say if you're listening to this, who could hear me that is not listening to
Yeah,
this?
everyone is listening to this that is listening to it.
Remember earlier we played her Gwenifer Raymond's music as a solo artist, so they transformed that into this.
It was like a tornado of sound in the best way. Like everybody was doing so much with their instruments and everyone was just like so focused on stage too, because Gwenifer Raymond has a lot of focus, as we've said, but like everyone else was like trying to keep up with the pace of the song and like add a little bit of their own stuff to it. And it was very cool to see. Tornado of sound.
I think that's accurate. And then when you listen to the song Hell for Certain, you're like, oh, I can hear it. It is that song, but it is just transformed so much with all of these different musicians
like
bringing
12
different
more
stuff
instruments
in.
on
Yeah. And you got to see like these gospel bands playing a song called Hell for Certain, which is fun.
And when we got to see her backstage later, you definitely were like, oh, it was a great song that you got those gospel musicians
Like, isn't
to
that
play.
crazy that you got them to do that?
And I heard Gwenifer Raymond speak more words backstage than I did hear her on stage.
She did say that in Edmonton, that she will talk, just not on stage.
She's busy. She's doing so much other stuff. And then after this session, we got to see some more Locarno, a little bit more Alex Cuba, some Djele Tapa, and some Jeremiah McDade, which is like another one that I was like, oh, it's a little out there. Like not...
How are all these people
How are
gonna...
all these people going to go
I think
together?
This one was kind of like the grab bag.
I think
of
this
like,
was
well,
like-
we don't know where to put these people, so
And they're
let's
like,
put them all in together.
Who's still here? And do they want to just like figure it out on stage? Which they did. Because we didn't get to see much of the McDades on the first day because of just kind of when we got into Grande Prairie. It was cool to get to see Jeremiah McDade. We only got to see one of, I don't know, is there 4 McDades? How many McDades are there? And it was cool to get to see him play a bunch of different instruments just by himself. Like he's got 3 or 4 different instruments up there with him, and he was great. We were also sitting next to his dad, who is so proud of him.
So in this one, he's playing, is that just a flute? Or what's a piccolo? Is that a piccolo?
I'm not good at the woodwinds. What is it, brass?
It was metal. Is it still a woodwind? Because if the reed's wood, it's a woodwind, even though if the rest of it isn't.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Anyways, he was playing an instrument. You can hear it here. And it's fun because he set the tune, I guess, not just the tone. He's set that up, and then people started coming in one at a time, and by the time this audio starts, the other people have come in, but then he steps out, and then they've created this whole song based on what he played, but he's not even playing that little bit anymore. And then later in things that I don't have, you could see that flute part mimicked by trumpets, violins, guitars.
also impressed by the speed at which he switched instruments. Like multiple instruments in a song was like very impressive to me. And I know we saw like lots of people switch guitars and like that kind of thing, but like switching a full like instrument that you blow into seems very difficult. I don't know. I've never played one, but it seems like it would be harder than just picking up a new guitar. But yeah, no, it was an interesting mix. Locarno and Alex Cuba kind of had a similar thing going on in their Spanish language music, but it was definitely fun to see them all kind of work together.
Locarno already has a big sound with how many instruments they have, but it got even bigger when they had all of these people on stage with them. Fun in that song, the Locarno trombone player brought sheet music over for Jeremiah McDade, or like the equivalent of digital sheet music,
right? Yeah.
To say like, this is what we're playing, follow along with your instrument, and he did. That was a lot of fun.
It's impressive. And
I remember Jelly Tapa was very impressed with the marimba player. She was watching him and just being like, wow. A lot of people were very impressed by the marimba player. That's the second time it's blown someone's mind.
Yeah, like the most impressive thing.
And I wish I had more audio of her, but Jelly Tapa was a lot of fun. She's dancing, she's playing things on other people's songs. She was doing a lot.
She was having the crowd sing along. It was, that was a really nice, it was a nice final session of the weekend, and I was a little sad during it because I was like, no, this is it.
The sessions on Sunday, like there were good sessions all around, but this three on Sunday, that was fantastic.
Some of the best, and they were back to back, like, which was crazy. You don't often, like, you'll often be like, oh, that was my highlight of the day. But no, this was just like a full day of incredible music.
And then right before main stage evening started, we did get to see Canadian icon, really just musical icon, Fred Penner. And the entire place was so into it. He got such a warm reception because everybody knows Fred Penner. So much so that he just sang the alphabet. And thousands of people joined in with him because people loved him that much.
And adults, because we all grew up with him.
And of course, he closed out his set with The Cat Came Back.
His money hit.
So why don't you help us sing my all-time favorite cat song? The cat came back the very next day. The cat came back. They thought he was a goner, but the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away. Give me a nice meow, go. Now old Mr. Johnson had troubles of his own. He had a yellow cat who wouldn't leave his home. He tried and he tried to give the cat away. He gave it to a man going far, far away. But the cat came back the very next day. The cat came back. They thought he was a goner, but the cat, he just couldn't stay away.
And then as he wrapped up, it was fun because we were walking up the hill a bit and he was on a side stage. And as he finished, he just was able to throw over to the main stage, and they're close enough that you could see and hear both. Mm-hmm. And then main stage started up right after him, and they kind of talked
back and forth.
Yeah, that was crazy. I'd never seen something like that before, where two stages were. I wish they could do like a session kind of like that, where they're both playing things, or they took turns, and you could just sit up there and kind of see both stages. That would be fun.
Well, Locarno was almost big enough that they needed their own stage, so they probably could have done that last session with most of them on one stage.
All right, half of you are going to stage 3.
Yeah.
And then Howley played next. They opened up the main stage for Sunday evening. And we don't have any audio of this. I did talk to one of the guys in the back afterwards. And it was a long time before I realized who he was. And I said, like, oh, I was listening to you, but I was up in the back. I didn't actually know what you looked like.
Yeah. You couldn't really see them. You could see them kind of jumping around with their fiddles, but it was...
But we talked about our mutual anger with the English. Because they're Irish.
Yeah.
And I'm Canadian and Indian and, you know what happened.
You know history.
So that's what we talked about in the back. But they were a lot of fun. But we were kind of at a point where we thought, like, this is our last evening, and we've had such a good time at the festival that we just said, like, let's just sit here and kind of just take it in for a bit. Let's not worry about the job as much.
We ate some pizza and just soaked in the vibes.
And that took us through Katie Pruitt's main stage as well. We just kind of sat and watched and didn't really work on it.
Yes, we were a little tired by the end of the day, and it was just nice to just sit and listen like normal patrons.
I think we're also just a bit sad, and we're just trying to enjoy things. And when you're running to take pictures and to record audio and write all your notes about everything, it takes away from that a little bit. And at this point, we're just kind of enjoying.
It does get a little like bittersweet at the end, and I definitely feel like I was feeling that. But we did pull ourselves together to watch the Warren Treaty play their final main stage show as the headliner for Sunday night.
And we had to. They closed down Edmonton's maybe 2-3 years ago. Mm-hmm. They were the final act then, and they just put on a show. Yeah. It's really, you don't need to say much more than the two of them have such amazing and big voices and just can command a stage, each one of them. And then when you get the back and forth between the two, it's a fantastic show, and this was no exception.
Everyone was dancing. We weren't out on the hill, but you can see the hill from where we were, and everyone was like up and moving. And then everyone backstage came out of the backstage area to watch. Like, it was the most packed backstage the viewing area had been all weekend, and people were jumping and dancing and like singing along. It was great. It was such a fun time to dance with everybody.
And it started raining by this point too, but that didn't stop anyone.
No, nope.
We're still having a good time.
We pulled our ponchos out of our bags and continued dancing.
And there's so many War and Treaty songs that we could put in here, but they did something kind of special because they brought out hometown hero Tennille Townes for a special song.
A world premiere.
Yeah, they were saying that they had recorded it the night before in Grande Prairie.
And again, when Tennille came on stage, everyone lost their minds. Like, it's just fun to see the hometown hero on stage. And they sang a great song. It's interesting to hear about people from such different places who wrote a song together. That's fun. And this is when we realized how very small Tennille is.
Or in the next bit, because they closed things down and everyone was very happy, but people did not clear out yet because we had a tradition that we didn't know about yet, but we're excited to see. Because we know in Edmonton, you finish off with 4 strong winds. It's a thing that we always have to do. And we were curious to see what it was going to be here, but we started seeing all of the artists and the team leads from the volunteers start going towards the stage, and they performed. First, they did The Wait. Someone else did that earlier too. Secondhand Dream Car did.
Right, yes.
And featuring, well, who was on stage?
Everybody?
Jesse Roper, DK Harrell, Warren Treaty, Tennille Townes, Fred Penner.
Need some place where I can lay my head. And mister, can you tell me where come I find a bed? He just grinned and shook my hand low, was all he said. Take a load off Annie, take a load free, take a load off Annie.
My bag, I went looking for a place to hide. When I saw him calling, they were singing on the side. I said, hey, calling, come on, let's go downtown. She said, I gotta go, but my friends will be around. Take a load off Annie, take a load free, take a load off Annie. Put the load right on.
Yeah, Fred Penner and the Warren Treaty were not a mix I thought I'd hear, but you know what, it worked.
So they performed that all together. And then I think what the tradition is Alberta Bound as the last song.
Yes, and that was like, you could see people like feel very strongly about that song. I mean, I feel very strongly about 4 Strong Winds, and so it was like a lovely, touching way to end the festival and to have a big sing along on the hill.
So let's listen to a little bit of Alberta Bound, led by Fred Penner, backed by everyone.
Backed by the hill.
Well, the prairie lights are shining bright. Sugar wind is moving in. Tomorrow night I'll be Alberta bound. Though I've done the best I could, my life ain't been so good. Tomorrow night I'll be Alberta bound. No one I've met could ever forget a Rocky Mountain sunset. It's a pleasure just to be Alberta bound. I long to see my next of kin, to know what kind of shape they're in. I might be Alberta bound. Everybody now. Alberta bound. Hey, Alberta bound. I long to be Alberta bound. Yep, yep. Alberta bound. Alberta bound. I long to be Alberta bound.
And that was a pretty great way to end a pretty great festival.
Yeah, I'm sad just thinking about the fact that we're done with festivals for the year.
It was a fantastic way to finish.
It
I
was.
had such a good time at Bear Creek. I don't know if it comes across when how we're talking, but we just loved it. We were treated very well. The festival site itself is fantastic. Great lineup. The audio quality is very good. I think that's part of not being as big.
You're
Your
not
sound is better.
Broadcasting as far.
Yeah, it sounded real good there.
Yeah, I didn't feel for most of the festival like I needed my ear protection as much, just because it was like the levels were a little bit easier to listen to up close. Yeah, it was just, what a great festival. Like, it's a smaller site, it's a significantly smaller festival, and it feels very like hometown. It's got like the small town feel to it, and I love it. It was so great.
We have to do all of our thanks to
Yes.
all the artists, all the volunteers, but we were helped most by Tanea. She helped us out so much. We hope to see all of you again next year.
Shout out to Benny the Bear
Oh, Benny.
of Bear Creek. And to all the volunteers who helped us and pointed us in the right direction on our first day when we had no idea what we were doing or where to go. And
Yeah, the whole photo team kind of took me in, and I just blended right in with them.
exactly. Yeah, there wasn't like a whole bunch of media there, so it was a little bit different than the other festivals we've done, just because we were kind of the media that were there, and it was great to kind of feel embraced by the rest of the team.
Yeah, with our pals from like CKUA and the article, and
Yeah, we got to meet some very cool people, and hopefully we will see everyone next year.
yeah, I really want to go back. I'm
Me
excited.
too.
That the worst thing is when all of these ended, and I do a good bit of a research on all of the artists and everything, and now I had some downtime, and I listened, you know how I listened to a lot of old music, so I
Yeah.
was listening to stuff from the 60s and the 70s again, and then I just thought, like, I wonder who's going to be there next year. I want to
Yeah.
start my research now.
I wish we had our lineups a little sooner, but I feel like the office is still recovering from this one, so no bookings yet. But it's something that we will look forward to next summer.
All right. Well, we've been doing this on the last 2 Folk Fest episodes, going over our favorites. Let's do food and drink first. What was your drink of the festival?
Oh, we were spoiled this year because the beer selection was not Big Rock. It was Sea Change, and they had like 8 or 9 different beverages to drink. But I tried something new, and I tried their Shitty's orange drink from their distillery, from Sea Change's distillery, and I really enjoyed it. It had a very nostalgic childhood feel to it, but with vodka. What about you?
Well, I only had 3 drinks. All on the first night, I had 3 Prairie Fairies. So I'm going to say Prairie Fairy was my
Yeah.
drink of the festival because I love it. It's a fruity wheat beer.
Yeah, it's delicious.
What was your food of the festival?
Does it have to be at the festival? Because the omelet I had on Saturday at the hotel was really great.
Yeah, we'll say that.
We booked this hotel, found out it came with breakfast, and we're expecting just your classic like buffet breakfast, and it was like a full plated breakfast. So you know what, Podolin Hotel, thank you for
Yeah.
that delicious omelet.
Maybe now that we mentioned them, they'll give us a discount or something.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that would be good. What about you? What was your taste of the festival?
There are food trucks up closer to the entrance of the festival. And on, I think it was the first day, I wanted pizza. There was too much of a wait. So I got the next best thing. I got a pizza-styled grilled cheese. It had tomato sauce, cheese, and pepperoni in it from Cool Cat Grilled Cheese. And that was my my best meal, I think.
Nice. We tried to get pizza every single day and finally got it on the last day.
What was your favorite set of the fest?
Oh, man. Probably the Milk Carton Kids set. I feel like I might have said that about Edmonton too, but I really loved everything that they played. It was some deeper cuts for the longtime fans, and I feel like that was I appreciated that because those are some of my favorite songs, and that's kind of when I started to get into them, was when they were releasing those. So Milk Carton Kids on the main stage, and it was just such a lovely, it was a good temperature, it was like so great, and I just sang along and had a wonderful time.
So I don't repeat myself with the next question, I'm going to go with Mason Vaya. I really liked his set. I liked him up there. The songs that I knew of his, he played, and then there was a few that I wasn't aware of that I'll have to listen to more. And it helps me expand my musical tastes because, you know, I listen to a lot of different genres, but I don't listen to a lot of bluegrass.
No.
So it was good to hear that. But the next question is the moment of the festival, your Folk Fest moment. And that's why I had to change my favorite set because it could have been the same thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What was your favorite moment?
I think dancing backstage to War and Treaty in the rain was like, I don't know. There's something about when it rains and everyone's like hardy enough to not run away and like leave the festival. It was just such a fun moment. We were all jumping in the rain, wearing our ponchos and like just singing along. And it was just such a lovely little community moment. So yeah, that's my folk fest moment of the weekend.
Yeah, anytime you dance in the rain, it's like you've given yourself over. You're not trying to like save anything or preserve anything. You're like, all right, I'm going in. I'm all in now.
I'm just wet now, and we're going to make the best of it, and I'm just going to enjoy every moment. What's your folk fest moment?
It has to be in the session with DK Harrell, Gwenifer Raymond, Nikki D and the Sisters of Thunder, and Jesse Roper. They were kind of talking and joking about it the whole time about how Gwenifer Raymond was the odd person out and a bunch of artists that I'm already a fan of, and then they managed to take one of her songs and transform it. And if you were someone who, like Samantha or like I am becoming, believes in the Folkfest magic, as she often calls it, there was no more of a Folkfest magic moment than that one, than this very dark, small, Welsh, soft-spoken musician leading all of these very big personalities who were singing gospel songs 2 minutes ago in a song called Hell for Certain, and just having a good time and just exploring music all together along with us.
Trying it like someone else does it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was amazing.
Folkfest magic.
Folkfest magic. Well, I think that's all of our Folkfest magic for the year.
Yeah, I'm sad. But I'm also kind of happy because I'm very tired and I don't know how many more days outside in the sun I can do.
Yeah, because you get to work indoors.
I do get to work indoors. I know. I'm an indoor cat. Next year, we're going to do it again. Let us know if there's a festival you'd like us to cover.
Oh, yeah. We'll go wherever. If you give us a ticket somewhere, we'll go.
Oh, absolutely.
And we'll do an episode.
And we're hoping to hit up some of the winter festivals in Calgary and Edmonton. I think there's one in Hinton and one in Jasper. So we're going to see what we can do and where we can go this winter as well. So this is not the end of our Folkfest coverage for the year, but we will see you with maybe some new things.
We'll see you on a hill.
Some
Which
hill.
one? I don't know.
We're not picky.
An island, a hill, a club. We'll see you there.
We'll see you there. Bye.
Bye, everybody.